Hey guys, out at the range today with a Bear Creek Arsenal. Now, as odd as it may sound, with living in North Carolina, I genuinely had never heard of this company. Genuinely had not. Everyone can't believe that. And I'll tell you why they say that here in just a second. But they did reach out to me. They did send me this firearm for review. I did not expect it to be here today. I was coming out to the range to film a little bit with the Hellcat Pro Comp. The lady at the gun store messaged me and said it had came in, so I went and picked it up. I literally know nothing about it, and if you watch the channel, I do that on purpose. I don't want to look at other people's reviews. I don't want to have that type of thing in my head, regurgitating what they say or allowing that to cause me to have bias about the firearm. So I just want to pick it up, come and do the initial review, and tell you what my thoughts are about the gun without having all the noise in the background from all the other YouTube channels and so forth. So I did not research this gun. I have not did any YouTube reviews. So if you saw some and they were negative and bad things happened, you know, don't worry about leaving it in the comments, because again, I didn't see any of that. And if this product does not perform, Bear Creek Arsenal and all of you guys know that I will not clip that. I don't care if they send it to me. We're here today to test this firearm. And if you choose to buy this firearm based off of what I have said, I couldn't live with myself if it was a piss poor product. So that's not what I'm here to do. Either way, again, it does kind of sort of look like a Glock clone. It did come very nicely packaged. As you know, I'm a little bit of a snob about that. It's got two 17-round magazines. So I'm just going to shoot it. Have not even pulled the trigger. Well, I was messing with the trigger. I ain't going to lie, in the truck a little bit. But haven't pulled the trigger on any live ammunition yet. So I'm a little bit anxious about that, and I'll tell you why here in just a second. So I'm going to shoot first, just get on some of the steel, then I'll turn the camera around, try to shoot on some paper for accuracy. So here you have it. As mentioned, these magazines look very much like Glock magazines, although the bottom of them says KCI, it looks like US, made in Korea. That's what the bottom of the magazine says. So initial thoughts, the gun feels great in the hand. Honestly, it feels a lot like my Shadow systems, which are mostly Glock clones as well. I do really like the stippling along the sides and the little grizzly bear there that's on each side of the grip. I do actually like it. Kind of has a grizzly bear hair look stippling on the grip panels here, and I really like that. I really like the look of it. It feels good in the hand. It's not overly aggressive. The mag well is slightly flared, and you know that I like a flared mag well because it really aids in keeping my grip high and tight. It is nicely undercut under the trigger guard here. It does have a 4-slot rail up here for your light and laser attachments, front and rear serrations, which are very, very functional, very easily able to maneuver the slide with the serrations. It is optic cut. Again, I just picked it up. I have no idea what the optic is cut for. It's got green sights, which I'm a little bit worried about against the contrast of these green woods out here. They do seem to be luminescent sights from the best I can tell. If I'm wrong about that, then I will put that up. Again, this is just initial range review straight from the gun store just to see if the gun will function. That is literally all this is. And but again, I am a little worried about the green 3-dot sights. It has a little grizzly bear on the side of the rear sight here, which also looks like they're probably Glock cut sights, which makes me believe even more that it's probably a Glock clone. If you guys already know that it is, don't beat me over the head in the comments section, because again, literally just picked it up and I do not look at other reviews, or nor do I get into researching the gun. I want it to be my thoughts and what I think about it. Feels good in the hand, really reminiscent of a Shadow system. Has a nice ledge on each side here with for a memory pad that's stippled nice grip. Looks like it can be swapped on the mag release. Doesn't really extend or stick off. It's not, other than that, it's not ambi in any way. And made right here in Sanford, North Carolina. So that's pretty, it is wild that I had never heard of them, and does have a huge cutout or vent in the top of the slide, one on each side of the slide. The barrel is threaded, doesn't seem to have an O-ring on the thread. I didn't bring my suppressor out to the range today, but I will be bringing it out tomorrow and shooting it suppressed. So hopefully that'll go well. Like I said, I'm gonna get on the Texas Star here, shoot some of the steel targets. First shot's a little bit anxious, so let's see how that goes. It seemed to drive home pretty well. Didn't seem to have any hiccups at all. So first shots. So as expected, those green sights were very difficult to pick up against these green trees in the background. So maybe once I get on that paper target and I'm able to actually shoot on a red bullseye, maybe I'll be able to see it better. But I did manage to knock 1, 2, 3, 5 of the 6 stars or plates off of the Texas Star. No malfunctions, didn't blow up in my face. Actually, it was a pleasure to shoot. Recoil was very manageable. No hints at a problem whatsoever. So again, I'm gonna turn it around on the paper here, and we're gonna shoot at the paper target, and I'm gonna move up to about 7 yards and see if we can check for accuracy. So I'm on the paper target here. Again, I moved up to about 7 yards. It did catch a little bit of shrapnel. I probably should have rethought hanging that target before I started shooting this steel, but any of the little white splatters that you see on there is from shrapnel from the metal targets I was shooting. So either way, I think I loaded this one up with 15 or 16 rounds. Gonna shoot for that red, 7 yards. Test a little bit for accuracy. So there you go, locked back on the empty mag, no issues. 2 magazines so far. It was shooting strangely right. The grouping is phenomenal, and usually a right-hander is going to shoot left if he's off. The sights look to be dead center. I mean, again, the front one is, I'm certain it's a Glock cut sight, so there's no messing or moving it. Only the rear sight, it is dead in the center. It's very odd. If I'm shooting off, I'm typically doing so to the left, not the right. So, but again, first shots, the least favorite part of it for me is are these green sights on here. I'm not a huge fan of these green sights. It's very difficult for me to pick them up. Although the group was outstanding, it was a lot easier on the paper target to acquire the sights, but it's just hard to see that sight. And so I don't think that's the reason I was shooting right, but I'm not going to adjust the sights just yet. I'm going to try and load up another magazine and get on the paper again and see if maybe it was something I was doing, and then we'll wrap this thing up. So I'm going to try to get on that paper again. Got another 17 rounder loaded up, and for everyone that I know will ask, I'm shooting the Federal 115 grain ammunition through it today. So again, before I make any type of adjustments to the sights, again here at about 7 yards, I'm going to see if maybe I'm going to try to really focus, shoot slow, see if maybe it was me. Maybe I've kind of moved over into the sunlight a little bit, hoping maybe that front sight will show up a little bit better. So let's just see if it was me or if I need to adjust the rear sight or not. I don't know. Well, as you can see, that was a night and day difference. The only thing that I did differently was I shot from a different angle where the sun was hitting the front sight, and it almost made the front sight look white at that point. Like it didn't look green anymore. So I will say, you know, again, I'm not really a fan of those sights. I don't know what you can necessarily do about it if you're not a fan of dots on your rear sight, like if they're white or the U notch and it's got the, like the Glock white U on there and you can black it out. You really can't do a whole lot with this one, I don't suppose. So, but easy enough to change out. Again, I'm convinced they are Glock sights. So they're very readily available. Even if you just wanted to swap out the front sight, I don't really care about the rear sight because I really don't focus too much on that. Even if it's blacked out, I don't care. But being able to acquire that front sight made a heck of a doggone difference. And that is a, for me, and just shooting with the irons, that is an outstanding group, more right where I was aiming at the center. So again, Bear Creek Arsenal, by the time all is said and done, you guys will have already seen it by now because it was at the front of the video. The way I typically do this, I know I open the video up with a bunch of shooting, and then I come in and say, hey, first shots with the Bear Creek. Well, what happens is the first shots were indeed the first shots, but when I wrap up the video, I always just, I don't want to put 300 rounds of ammunition on camera because the videos are already long enough as is. So I will go off camera and I will shoot. So far we've got, I believe, what was it, 4 magazines, whatever that math is. I'm gonna try to get about 250 through it. I will get 250 through it actually, and you will have already saw that at the front of the video, and I'm getting ready to do that for the front of this video. And if there's any problems, I will let you know. But if I don't say otherwise, it went off without a hitch. Everything was fine. So far, I'm really liking the gun. Again, it feels absolutely outstanding in the hand. The recoil is super, super manageable. It is a fun gun to shoot. I've had fun shooting this gun today. And so, can I recommend it? Well, I don't know. Again, like I said, and I don't say I don't know because it's malfunctioned, because it hasn't so far anyway. But I am going to bring it back out to the range tomorrow, and I'm going to shoot it suppressed and see how that goes, because that can really, you know, separate the men from the boys. So as I promised during the 250, well, actually it wasn't 250, it was more like 180 or whatever it was, minus the 4 I initially put in there. I said if I had any problems or issues that I would report that at the end of the video. The only problem that I had was 2, and I'm not even sure that it's actually a problem, but when I had the magazine fully loaded with 17 round and I pulled the slide from the rear to drop the slide on the, or chamber around, the round got hung up on the feed ramp, you know, trying to chamber it. Now that did not happen while it was shooting. It only happened twice. One time you saw, the other time, unfortunately, the camera stopped recording for some reason, so you didn't get to see an entire mag, so you missed 17. But it did happen twice. One I caught on camera, one I did not. But I don't know that that's an issue. This gun was just picked up at the gun store, no oiling. I didn't take it down, didn't wipe anything out of it. It did have a fairly excessive amount of oil and grease in it when I got it. But other than those 2, again, I put the full magazine in. I went to rack the slide to charge a round, and the round got hung on the feed ramp. Pulled it back again, it went right in. Again, could just be a cleaning issue, may not be a problem at all. It did not happen while it was functioning, or shooting, should I say. There were no feeding issues, there were no malfunctions, there were no stovepipes. The gun did not get overly hot. Again, I just got finished putting 250 rounds. Actually, I think it might have been a few more than that, but either way, I'm able to hold the slide of the gun. It is not excessively hot. So far, I'm impressed with the gun. Just wanted to tell you about those 2 little hiccups, if that's what we're going to call them. But so far, so good. I'm going to get it back out here to the range tomorrow and shoot it suppressed, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Go over, check me out at gsquaredtactical.com. Pick up some gear, hats, coasters, things of that nature. consider going over, supporting me over on Patreon, and go over to Bear Creek Arsenal and check out this gun and pick one up, because so far they got several different variants. You can get it without the threaded barrel. I'm sure you maybe be able to get a different sight set up. I'm not totally sure, but so far so good. Go over there, pick one up, let them know that G Squared Tactical sent you. Happy shooting and God bless.